back to another episode of The Anchor featuring Logan Sargent. My name is Ben and I am Bald Man Gaming. And what a wild ride we had in the last episode. Miami, we had multiple safety cars. We had 3 red flags. We had 4 of the top 8 drivers that crash out. It was absolutely insane, and Alex Albon was able to finish very, very well in that race. I mean, Sargent crashed out within the first lap. On the first lap, he crashed out, but Albon did a fantastic job for us. We're going to have to replace some parts on Sargent, but by the time we reach Imola, we are going to have 3 new upgrades for our car. And so that is extremely exciting. New chassis, new rear wing, new front wings are all going to be ready for Imola. We are going to have a fantastic race, I think, so let's get into it. As I was saying, we're going to have some new parts all ready for us. It looks like we are going to have to take a delay on the front wing and the rear wing as there was a fire. So design center fire, so we are not going to be able to get those parts for Imola. That's super disappointing. We should have them ready hopefully by the next race. We'll have to go ahead and just approve that. There's nothing we can do about it. That really stinks, but we'll still have our new chassis. That is going to come in. The second one is going to come in 10 days. We already have one. We're waiting on the second one. So both drivers will have a new chassis for this next race. We have our first upgrade on the racing simulator. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it again so that we can keep developing Logan Sargent. So hopefully in the next few days, we will also have another upgrade to our race simulator. All right, so let's look at our sponsorship targets here. We've got qualifying position 15th by both drivers, so minimum 15th. So let's go ahead and throw on reach Q2. And then fastest lap, I think once again, finishing above 15th, it should be the goal, as it is also the goal in our hot streaks to finish above 15th. At the end of the race, if we complete all of this, we'll be at $1.4 million richer. We have really good driver preparation this week. Hopefully that will help us be able to qualify 15th or above with both drivers. All right, so it looks like it's going to be inters all the way up until the very end. So we're going to send them out early here to try to get them just a little bit of confidence. This run's not going to mean a whole lot, as we are going to just get in the long train, gain confidence, because we're going to be setting good lap times. All right, I think the track has dried out enough for us to head on out. We are going to go out just after this Ferrari here. We're going to send out Sargent, and then we're going to send out Albon as well. All right, here we go. We should be going faster the entire time. Albon and Sargent. Checkered flag is out, and so some of these guys have already finished to the leaders. We have qualified 8th and 9th so far. There are 5 drivers that have the checkered below us, so we are getting into queue number 2. Great job, gentlemen. I'm going to fast forward to Q2. We are going to be on inters the entire time. I'm going to go ahead and have them set a lap, and then it looks like at the end, it's probably going to be a little bit better conditions to set a faster lap. So let's go ahead and set them out, get them a little confidence, and then let's go ahead and then send them out a little bit later to set a fast lap. All right, we're going to send out Sargent first, and then Albon trying to get a toe off of Sargent. Let's see what happens. Well, Valtteri was on his flyer. He passed to Albon, but didn't slow up Sargent as much, and so we're not going to get a toe. It looks like he's going to slow up Albon here again. Logan Sargent has crashed. Logan Sargent has crashed. Please tell me that you didn't wreck our new chassis, and I'm going to have to go in. Yeah. You think it's damage. You think it's damage. It is damage. Well, on the bright side, Alex Albon has jumped all the way to 6th, jumping Russell and Verstappen for now. But Sargent crashed. We're going to have to spend some money on replacing those parts because I didn't have a spare chassis. That crash cost me $2 million. $2 million. That is coming out of your paycheck, Logan. I don't even pay you $2 million a year. I don't even pay him $2 million a year. It's going to take you 2 years to get that money. Jeez. So we've got some real issues with what happened with Sargent. We spent $2 million, which for reference is more than his wage is for the entire season because of that one crash. We had to do an emergency build for that crash, as he sets a good time way faster than Albon, but it cost us $2 million to get this car up and running for the weekend. That's insane that we had to spend that much money on a car part. So that's really disappointing, but he is qualifying very well so far. So hopefully he's able to make it up by maybe getting in the points this week. We will see. We will see. Otherwise, it's coming out of his paycheck, and he's going to have to make it up for 2 years. He's going to be living on PB&Js for 2 years to be able to make that money back for us. With rain incoming, Logan Sargent might be starting fourth. Because everybody else didn't have as good of a qualifying as he did, and the inters are going to go a lot slower on a wet track. So he is probably going to be qualifying fourth. So after spending $2 million, he's going to qualify fourth. Let's see if he can hold on to a top 10. All right, so after it's all said and done, it looks like Logan Sargent is going to be starting fourth. Albon's going to actually be starting ninth, as Perez has a penalty for causing the crash last week, and he's going to drop 5 spots. But Logan Sargent, a wonderful qualifying. Let's get into the race. Let's see if we can hold on to that position for Logan. All right, so here's our tire strategy. We're going to go soft, hard to soft, but on that hard stint, we're going to be attacking the entire time. This is a little bit faster than the one stop, but this is the only 2-stop that actually gains an advantage. If we went soft, medium, medium, it wouldn't give us an advantage. Soft, medium, soft, I don't think it would give us an advantage either. And so I think this is the only way that's actually going to give us a decent advantage in this race. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see how it works out. All right, and the lights are out and we are on our way. Let's start off by looking at Logan Sargent here, starting fourth. He's going to try to take advantage of the Ferrari that is on hards, excuse me. The Leclerc in front of us is on hards. Everybody else is on mediums. Gasly's on hards. Stroll's on hards. And Albon's already losing a spot out to Hulkenberg. And so let's see if Albon can recover that spot from Hulkenberg before... Whoa, there's already a crash. Who was it? Sargent's fine. There's already a crash. Gasly's crash. He's gone down. Logan Sargent did not get into the crash. Let's watch the replay. All right, here we go. We're keeping an eye on Esteban Ocon and Gasly. Oh, the Alpines get together. Oh, there they both go. But Gasly gets stuck in the wall and Ocon is able to continue. Maybe there's some damage on both of their cars. Let's check out how much damage is on their tires here. Ocon is down to 88. That's going to mess up his tires. And then Gasly goes all the way down to 20th. And also takes a hit on his tires as well. We'll see if he can still one-stop. He can probably still one-stop. But I don't know if Ocon can one-stop anymore. And he has lost the advantage of having mediums for later and catching back up with guys like Sargent. So we will see how that affects the race. Maybe he has some front wing damage. He might have to come in and spend a little extra time in the pits. Let's see if that can happen and give us an advantage to try to get Albon and Sargent up in the points. It doesn't look like anybody's going to get a penalty for that. Well, already it's an interesting race. We're coming off a race with a ton of crashes. Hopefully we're not involved in any here, and maybe we'll have a clean race this time. I don't know. We might need a safety car, a little bit of luck to get Sargent in the points, but it would be absolutely amazing to have Sargent starting to get points for us before we have 3 more upgrades coming in the next race. All right, so DRS is now enabled. We'll have to go all the way around the track one more time before we get DRS, but it would be awesome to stick inside of Leclerc's DRS as Stroll and Ocon are a little bit farther behind, and Albon looks like he's going to be stuck inside of a DRS train, which isn't terrible for Albon, as everybody around him does have softs, and so maybe whoever doesn't have softs like Ocon can start getting picked off by Russell and Perez before too long. so that we can start shifting Alcon back behind us all. Speaking of, it looks like Alcon is now getting passed by Russell here, and Russell's going to have the DRS on Alcon, and so is Perez. And so Perez is going to have a chance to go ahead and pull up right to the bumper of Alcon, but it looks like Albon is getting dropped out of the DRS of all of those guys, as our cornering just isn't quite as good here. All right, we're going to see if Stroll can get past Logan Sargent. Logan Sargent's got to pick a racing line. It doesn't look like Stroll has picked a good racing line. And so he's going to pull right to the bumper of Sargent, and Sargent is going to retain fourth place, backing everybody up. Sargent might be the head of a DRS train here soon, as it looks like Perez and Russell are going to start tracking him down. But Albon is into the DRS range of Ocon, is now getting pulled along by Ocon to stay ahead of Hulkenberg and maybe pull out in front of Tsunoda and Norris a little bit as well. Oh, it looks like Stroll just took Sargent. So hopefully we can stay within Stroll's DRS. He just has a plain better car. Aston Martin is a lot better than our Williams is right now, but we are hoping to catch them by maybe the beginning of next season with research and maybe signing a new head of aero and stuff like that to be able to improve our team. And it looks like Perez is now going to be able to get DRS on Logan Sargent as well. And Albon's going to still hold on to DRS on Ocon. So we're going to get pulled along by some better cars, hopefully get stuck into a DRS train here so that nobody else can get by Sargent. We knew this was going to be a possibility for Logan Sargent, but Logan Sargent is starting to fall out of the DRS range of Stroll, and Perez is right behind him. And so Perez is going to get some nice DRS on Logan Sargent. Logan's going to have to set his line, and we'll see if Perez is able to pass him. It looks like Perez is not going to be able to pass Logan Sargent here. He switches to the outside. Logan Sargent shuts the door, and there we go. Logan Sargent retains fifth place, backing up Sergio Perez as Stroll vanishes up the road from us. Let's see if Logan Sargent can hold on, even though Perez is right behind him. Perez has the possibility of passing him right here, and it looks like Sergio Perez is going to pass him without DRS. That's how much better that Red Bull is than the Williams. And so Logan Sargent is going to be dropping 2 positions. We didn't think he was going to retain fourth. The hope is that he can be tugged along as we're going, and then we can get a little luck to roll our way and be able to finish in the top 10 because he started so far up the grid. We know he's going to lose spots. Let's just hope. Let's cross our fingers, pray that he is able to just retain a couple of spots here in the beginning. So once we get on some faster tires and a more aggressive way of racing, a more aggressive tire strategy, he is able to maintain the positions. And so here we go. We have DRS on Perez, which should help. And then we're going to get dropped out of DRS range of Perez very quickly, and we're probably going to drift all the way back to Russell. All right, Albon is on the outside of Ocon. Everybody's got DRS. Let's see how aggressive Albon is. He falls right back into line. He's not going to try to take Ocon here. He's just going to pull just a little bit closer to his back bumper and see what he can do as they are going along. I don't mind being stuck in this DRS train. We are getting pulled along, and we are creating a big gap between Tsunoda and Hamilton. But Sainz and Hamilton are coming right up through the field. And so it's getting a little scary that these guys are catching up so quickly. They are about 8 to 9 seconds behind Albon right now. They can easily make that up. Sainz is stuck into a little bit of a DRS train, but I think that's not going to be too bad as they go along, as it looks like Norris is about to get dumped out of Hamilton's DRS. All right, so Russell has officially pulled up to the back of Logan Sargent. We are currently on Albon, so we see Ocon, and right in front of Ocon is Russell, and Russell's going to try to take Logan Sargent here. Looks like he is going to take Logan. And in all of this, Hamilton and Sainz are cutting right through the field and getting closer and closer. And so hopefully Russell can start pulling Sargent along. We can get in a nice long DRS train to slow up Hamilton and Sainz a little bit, as it looks like a lot of people are probably going to go for the one stop. Yeah, so Hamilton and Sainz are probably going to go for a one stop. Everybody on softs has the possibility of going for two stops, but it would have to be a very aggressive two stop, just like we're running. Albon has gotten by Ocon, which is awesome. All right, so Russell is leading this DRS train now that he has passed Sargent. We're coming up on another DRS, and it's going to let Sargent Albon pull right back up to Russell. Hamilton and Sainz are catching fast. That last lap, Hamilton started 4 seconds off of Hulkenberg. He is now within 3 seconds, and Sainz is also coming as well. Hamilton is on the medium, Sainz is on hards. They might be going for one stop. We're going for that aggressive two stop, so hopefully that helps us, gives us an advantage over those guys, especially once they put on their second tire. And once we put on our softs, we can keep up with them. That would be amazing as we're going along. And as we've been talking, it looks like Sargent and Albon are now going at it, and Logan Sargent looks like he's trying to maintain, as Albon is now trying to get in front of Logan Sargent. As they're doing this, they're letting Russell get away. They're letting Russell get a little bit further out, and they might not be able to get DRS this time, not both of them at least. And so that's going to allow Ocon and Hulkenberg and Hamilton to gain an advantage on us. I don't know how beneficial that was to battle each other there, but Albon went for it, and I should have put on Don't Fight Teammates so Sargent could have stayed in front of him, as Sargent is our man. And so Albon might have just screwed up this race for everybody and has let Russell get away just because they were fighting back and forth. And so Sargent is going to be able to come back with DRS, and Albon is left without this time. And so Logan Sargent comes up. Is he going to get by Albon with the DRS? It doesn't look like he is, and so we're going to go around another time. Albon is now leading the pack with Sargent, Ocon, Hulkenberg, and Hamilton is coming quick. All right, there is a big crash, Piastri. It is Oscar Piastri going into one of the turns, and looks like he just loses his back and just taps the nose. Oh, it's not too bad. He's going to go replace his nose, and he'll be okay for the rest of the race. A competitor has spun out, just tapped the wall a little bit. As that was happening, as we've jumped a couple of laps forward, once again, Albon is in front of Sargent, pulling everybody along, but Hamilton has now joined the DRS train. Sainz will undoubtedly join very soon. We're hoping that Sargent can stay connected with Albon here, but it's going to get a little dicey when it comes to the tire situation. Honestly, the tire situation is not looking great for Sargent. We might have to pit a lap earlier than we want to, which means we might have to back off this middle stint just a little bit. But Albon is looking okay. He should be fine for the majority of the race. I actually want to, let's back up Albon just a little bit to see if we can get DRS with Logan Sargent to pull him back. Thank you for being a good teammate, Albon. We want to keep this DRS train connected so that we can keep Sargent from getting too far behind Ocon and Hulkenberg, as his tire's about to fall off. Ocon and Hulkenberg have mediums on, so they'll have a little bit of a advantage over Sargent. So let's just back up Albon just a little bit, and let's see if we can keep Albon connected with Sargent here to pull him along a little bit. All right, so the plan of backing up Albon. Oh, there's a yellow. What just happened? What just happened? There's a yellow flag. Heavy breathing. What just happened? Why are you breathing into your microphone like that? All right, so here comes Sargent, and Ocon is trying to make the pass. They just tap a little bit. I'm going to say that's Ocon's fault, and he should have a penalty. All right, let's see. Penalty for Ocon, please. 5-second penalty for Ocon. Let's see if the FIA agrees with me. If not, they have it out for Logan Sargent. That's all I've got to say. If not, they have it out for Logan Sargent, as Hamilton goes right by Sargent as well. Man, that really stinks. Logan is having a really good race so far, but we may have lost just a little bit too much on this stint, and we might have to pull him in 2 laps early as well. I think that's what we need to do. We're going to have to pull in Sargent 2 laps early so that he does not get a risk of a puncher and start falling back further and further. And Albon is chilling out. Hamilton is getting by Ocon right now, and so he's going to track down Alexander Albon. And then there's another yellow. What just happened? Did Hulkenberg just was into the wall. Hulkenberg was into the wall, and so now Sainz is going to get behind Sargent. Hulkenberg, let's see what happens. All right, he was right behind Sargent, and so Sargent's there. Here comes Hulkenberg, and Hulkenberg looks like he's just going to lose his back end and hit his rear wing and maybe tap his front wing a little bit as well. So he's got some damage on his car, so he might not be a factor anymore. But Logan Sargent hopefully can keep up with Ocon here and get DRS off of him to pull him along and not get eaten up by Sainz here. And it looks like Albon is going to get beaten out by Hamilton, but hopefully Albon was able to get the DRS off of Hamilton to keep him connected with Hamilton for the duration of his first stint on his softs here. Let's see if Albon got DRS. Albon did get DRS off of Hamilton, but Hamilton is driving away from Albon, and Sainz should have gotten DRS on Sargent. It's all going wrong here at the end of the first stint. We knew this was a possibility that both of these guys could catch us by the first stint, and that is what happens. We are 4 seconds in front of Yuki Tsunoda though, and Sargent is going to come in, is going to get shuffled all the way down, but things are lining up that there's not going to be a big DRS train, so hopefully we are able to DRS past people pretty easily. There goes Hulkenberg into the pits, and Albon is 3 laps away from starting his first pit of the day, and Sargent is going to pit after this lap. All right, so here comes Logan Sargent into the pits. Let's see how we do on our pit stop. We need a good pit stop. We're going to be super aggressive on these next tires. Fast pit stop to get us out in front of hopefully De Vries and Zhou. If we can get out in front of De Vries and Zhou, I would really love that at 2.7. I don't mind that 2.7. And let's go ahead and get Sargent out here right in front of, looks like we're going to get in front of De Vries and Zhou. There goes Gasly. And we should be able to get in front of, just barely in front of De Vries and Zhou. There goes Zhou, there goes De Vries. Oh, man. All right, so we're going to have to fight through that just a little bit. Let's go ahead and go on attacking. And Alexander Albon, let's go ahead and set up his time to go onto the hards. We're going to hit the next lap for him. We're going to keep him out just a little bit longer than maybe we should, but we are hopefully can stay in front of Sainz and back up Sainz just a little bit. All right, so Ocon has DRS on Albon, and he's going to take the inside. Albon's fighting back. So this is good, as Sainz might not be able to pass. Let's see from Sainz's position here. See what's happening. Albon hopefully can get a run out of that corner. It looks like he's going to stay side by side with Esteban Ocon. As that is happening, all of that is happening, Logan Sargent is fighting Zhou as well, and is going to be hopefully fighting De Vries here in just a second. Hopefully he's able to take De Vries on the next lap. And what just has gone wrong? His tires, Albon's tires. Okay, we knew that was going to happen. I thought that was Sargent for a second. I was like, what just went wrong? So for Logan Sargent, we're also going to put him on high overtaking aggression, so that when we hit the next DRS, he is able to go ahead and take on De Vries, get around De Vries, and then start catching Bottas and Gasly. Albon is now pulling into the pits. We need a good pit stop here. His goal is to get out in front of De Vries and Sargent, as Sargent is going to come around and hopefully take on De Vries as well. So here we go. Albon into the pits. Good pit stop, boys. And he gets a 2.7 as well. Sargent was just a little bit faster, but it looks like Albon is going to definitely get out way in front of Logan Sargent. He's going to come out possibly in front of Bottas here, and it looks like he's going to slot maybe right in front of Bottas, or Bottas will pass him right at the last second. And we are now in front of Tsunoda and De Vries. De Vries dove into the pits, and Sargent now has a lot of clean air, and Albon has the clean air to attack into as well. And he is also going to push his fuel for a little bit to try to go ahead and catch up to Gasly, Norris, and Magnussen. All right, so Ocon, Magnussen, Norris, and Bottas are all into the pits, and Logan Sargent has passed every single one of them. Albon easily passed them as well. Let's see it with the leaders who has come into the pits so far. Leaders who have come into the pits, Perez and Hamilton have come into the pits. Everybody else is still waiting to pit. Gasly has not pit yet, and we should be catching Gasly with Albon in the next few laps. He has been slowly gaining on Gasly as we have gone along, and so has Logan Sargent by over a second. Oh, Logan Sargent is just locked up. Let's check it out. All right, turn 14, Logan Sargent comes in just a bit hot and doesn't lose too much time. He just cut the corner. That's what we're going to say. He just cut the corner. It's not too bad, but he did lose a lot of tire. We're going to have to back out of the attack and go aggressive. He did lose a lot of tire on that. And so Albon, once again, is probably our chance for points here as he has caught Gasly and is now in Gasly's DRS. And it looks like he might go for the pass and goes for the late lunge here. And we are going to end up battling Gasly. We're going to need to back off actually, let's keep the fuel on. We'll recoup it later. Let's complete the pass on Gasly. There we go. Completes the pass on Gasly. Albon overtakes Gasly. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and now take him off push. We just need to make sure that he got that position back. And now Logan Sargent is just going to be on aggressive. We're going to see how that runs. And if we need to put him on standard, we'll put him on standard. There is another yellow flag. Yellow flag. What has happened? What has happened? Anything to do with Sargent? Looks like we're okay. And De Vries locks up into turn number 7. So let's check out De Vries. He is currently in 17th. And I think he was in 16th and then got passed. There goes De Vries, and now he's stuck. He gets passed by a couple of people and is now further back into the pack. All right, so Russell has come into the pits, and there he goes. Albon gets right past Russell. So now Russell is going to be behind us by just a couple of seconds, and it looks like he is going to one-stop. A lot of these front runners are one-stopping, it looks like. I think Gasly's on the one-stop. I think Leclerc and Stroll are also on the one-stop. Alonso and Verstappen are on the one-stop. Sainz is going to be on the one-stop. So we are going to be two-stopping a little bit more aggressive than they are, hopefully getting a few extra spots as Sargent gets passed by Ocon. Ocon has the better tires, and Sargent, quite honestly, has lost a lot of tire. He's going to start losing time to Tsunoda and Magnussen most likely, as a couple more of the leaders are now starting to come back in. So Stroll is going to have to get his pit. Leclerc just pitted, and Sainz is going to have to pit soon, and so is Gasly. And so this one stop, the hards on the one stop, hopefully will help us get past Gasly here, as he is not going to be going into the pits. And so looks like Logan Sargent's going to take the outside of Gasly, and he's going to complete the pass easily on Gasly. Great job, Logan Sargent. And Logan is up to 11th. Sargent has now been passed by Magnussen. So he is back to 12th. Hopefully, as we go on to the last little bit of his strategy, which is to go back on reds, maybe we can catch back up to Magnussen. But Albon is still chilling out. He was in 8th, but Sainz went in and had his pit stop, and so he is now in 7th, but we will give that spot most likely back to Sainz by the end of the race. All right, so we are about to go into the pits with Albon and Logan Sargent, since we have them both on the same strategy. And throughout this stint of hards has been really good for Albon. Albon ends it in 7th place, and we should shuffle all the way behind Magnussen. So we will only be just a couple spots off of that 10th place, and we'll have the best tires out there. And we will have a little bit of fuel to burn as well. And so Albon should come out just a little bit behind Magnussen. And here comes Logan Sargent, which means Magnussen is just passing where Albon is. And Albon should be hopefully coming in front of Tsunoda, because Sargent was very close to Tsunoda. So let's see, hopefully, where is Tsunoda from here? And we have come out just behind Tsunoda. Darn. So we are just a little bit off of 10th place. Albon is going to warm up the tires, and then we're going to have him start going. Logan Sargent is going to come out most likely behind. Looks like it's going to come up off 4 Norris. All right, so we're going to try to catch Gasly. We're going to try to catch Tsunoda with Logan Sargent. And we'll see what happens with Albon, see if Albon can get back into the points, bring Williams some more points, and maybe if we can get lucky with a crash or something like that, Logan Sargent can move up as well. All right, here we go. Albon is going to have DRS on the AlphaTauri, and so there goes Albon right around Sonoda. Now his next task is to track down Kevin Magnussen. If he can track down Kevin Magnussen, we are going to be back into the points. All right, so Albon has caught Magnussen. He's going to get DRS off of Magnussen on the DRS straight. So here we go. Albon is going to reel in Kevin Magnussen. As Albon has caught Magnussen, remember he was 8 seconds when we passed Sonoda. So Sonoda's now 14 seconds behind Albon, and Magnussen was 8 seconds behind Ocon as well. And so we've actually been reeling in Ocon extremely well. By over 10 seconds, we have reeled in Ocon as well. And so that is absolutely fantastic. And it looks like Albon's going to make the move right here. And so Alexander Albon goes right around Kevin Magnussen. No DRS needed. That's what I'm talking about. Alexander Albon now getting within 6 seconds of Ocon. All right, Albon has now caught Esteban Ocon. And so we have just a few laps remaining, and Albon now has DRS on Ocon, and Ocon does not have DRS on Russell here. And so the hope is we can pass him in just the next lap or so. It looks like Ocon might start catching Russell and start getting into a little bit of a DRS drain. That would stink a little bit for Albon, as Albon's worked so hard to catch back up to these guys being aggressive on our stops. Oh, there's a yellow flag in a virtual safety car. What has happened? Yellow flag in virtual safety car. We've had a crash on the track and competitors crashed. Let's see what has happened here. Oh, Max Verstappen has crashed. Max Verstappen, 2 races in a row, has now crashed. Let's see if he stays on the track. There goes Max. That's a hard hit. That's a very hard hit for Max Verstappen. And so we are going to be able to regain a lot of ERS. We're going to gain a lot of battery back here, hopefully to set up our set. And Max Verstappen is out of the race, 2 races in a row. Max has crashed out. All right, so we have DRS. It looks like Esteban Ocon also has DRS as well. We have 4 laps to go. We're going to be aggressive with both drivers for the rest of the race here. And we're going to save just a little bit of battery to try to catch these guys and then also pass them at the same time on the DRS straight. So let's see what we can do. With 3 laps left, we have a chance to get all the way up to 7th if we are aggressive. I don't know if Esteban Ocon has DRS on Russell here, but we definitely do on Esteban. And so let's see if Ocon has DRS. He does. His rear wing opens up, and we also have DRS as well. And so there are 3 laps to go, and we are going to try to get past Ocon and then very quickly catch right back up to Russell. If we could pass Ocon right before the DRS and then be able to make up some time on Russell as well, that would be awesome. Oh, come on. Ocon is slowing up Albon. He's not able to get around him, which might let Russell get away from us here. All right, so here we go. Yeah, no chance. Ocon is going to not have DRS. We are going to have DRS, and there is the move by Albon, and Albon's going to get around Esteban Ocon. And here we go. 2 laps remaining, and we are going to track down Russell. All right, we have caught Russell. Let's see if we get DRS this time. We do get DRS on Russell. All right, so we are going to get pulled right back up to the black bumper of Russell, but we do not have this DRS straight on the next lap to catch him, and so we are going to need to get ultra aggressive. We are going to go on absolute all-out attack and see if we can get past Russell without any DRS. Softs versus hards here at the very end of the race, and Logan Sargent has caught Gasly as well. He is going to get DRS, and oh my goodness, there goes the AlphaTauri. He got a puncture right at the end, which gave Sergeant 12th, he has finished his race, and Albon is still trying to attack and get right up against Russell and trying to pass him at the very end here. So here comes Alexander Albon on Russell. We're going to go into the last couple of turns, and it looks like Russell is going to have just enough to beat out Alexander Albon, but 8th place is extremely good here at Williams. I am so happy for 8th place. We are competing with the Mercedes. We kept up with Russell all day long, and so absolutely fantastic race by Williams. What a wonderful race by Albon. And I think that Logan Sargent also had a great race as well. I know he lost 8 spots, but starting in 4th, being the worst driver on the grid and still ending up in 12th and being able to put himself into a position where he was even in the points for a really long time, really until that last pit stop. And so that is fantastic. I will take that all day. We get another 4 points from Alexander Albon. So fantastic, beating both Alpines and catching them for 5th place. Let's see where we're at in the driver standings. Driver standings, we have Pierre Gasly and Ocon still above Albon. Nico Hulkenberg from Haas is still above Albon as well. But here is the interesting part. Max Verstappen, the second DNF of the year. He has won 4 races and crashed out of 2 races, which has left Charles Leclerc on the podium for all 6 races this season and 1 point behind Max Verstappen. So fantastic. Wonderful to see Max getting a little bit of competition, mostly from his teammate and his own fault at this point. And then in the constructors, Ferrari gets ever closer to Red Bull. Well, thank you for joining me for another video. If you like this video, like and comment down below, and also subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss any sort of content that I put out. Thank you for joining me. My name is Ben, and this has been Bald Man Gaming. Peace out. I'll see you next time.